Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, we are back. It is me, screaming into the void of the internet. Um, I kind of wanted to talk about something because I was looking at this meme while I was scrolling, and it was of this guy that was like just going off and breaking down on like these cops. Now, I don't know like when the original format is because like the videos, like it shows like from a few years and stuff like that. But the internet's kind of like that, sometimes, you know, older things will pick up later and then they'll become viral, right? But the important thing is, like, he was essentially just going off because the cops had pulled him over, and I'm guessing that his truck broke down because, like, there's no reason why he would have stopped there. And so I'm not gonna pretend like I know the full context, but he said, hey, listen, can I just push my truck? Because he's like, hey, he can't park here, and he realizes that, and so he said, hey, can I please just push my truck? Because I'm guessing 9 out of 10, in typical fashion, when someone breaks down and like someone chooses to be an arsehole, they call the cops quickly, while this person might just be standing around there like trying to either fix their car or just try and get someone to come help them. Because obviously, like, if they could just call roadside, then they call roadside if they can afford it. And in typical fashion, the cops, they didn't want to hear that. He's like, hey, can I just push my truck? He was like, no, it's just going to get towed. And he was like, hey, listen, please. He was just begging them. And they're just like, hey, listen, we're just going to get towed today. And so the meme is basically him just saying, hey, listen, my life sucks, you're making it worse. And that's usually like what people are finding with the meme. But the guy just spoke to me because it's like, these cocksuckers wonder why people snap. And people try and say, oh, you shouldn't glorify violence, you shouldn't glorify stuff. But I'm like, it's guys like that. He is trying to do it the right way. Hey, can I push the car out of the way? I don't want you to tow my truck. Can I just push the car out of the way? There was a time, and listen, I'm not one of these back in my day, and I'm going to talk about that for a second, kind of later after I make this point. There was a time where, there was a bit more of a sense of civic duty. Not just amongst police, but people in general, where they were a bit more willing to help. Now, obviously, that also has fallen due to several factors. But it was a bit more common to where you would get some kind of help. An example of this is how my own sister, right, when she was younger, she would get bullied a lot because she's special needs. She's not, like, completely retarded or anything, but, like, it's easy to manipulate her and stuff like that, so she would get bullied for that. And she snuck out of school because the bullying was just so bad, and she just walked. And she walked, and a cop found her and brought her back home. But what I'm trying to get at is there was a sense of civic duty. And no, it's not, again, a back in my day kind of thing, but, that has certainly regressed. But, there's reasons for that. One of those reasons being that even when you do help, especially as a man, there's always a chance that someone could just choose to use that against you and say, oh, you were trying to kidnap this person, or you were trying to hurt this person, or this, that, and the other. So I understand that. But then let's take it in a sense of this, right? In previous times, those cops would have at least helped him, push the vehicle so that it wasn't, in the way, it wasn't on the property, and then this guy could have, maybe called somebody to get it instead of just towing it. These people who could have easily, helped him, even without, like, doing something, like, crazy. Just help him, like, just get it off of the property so that it's not in the way, and he could maybe call whoever he was going to call, to help him get the vehicle out of there. They couldn't even let him do that. And so while he's going off, it really just speaks to me because it's like, when you're at your lowest as a guy, no one gives a rat's arse. No one gives a rat's arse. A chick in that same predicament, just crying her little hearts out, I promise you that one of those cops, considering that they were all male, would have offered assistance. I like to talk about things, and I like to talk about the nature of humanity and the nature of mankind, and I like to ask these questions because, listen, at the end of the day, what's wrong with these so-called laws. What are they really? Do the people who make the laws actually abide by them, you know? Well, I mean, let's ask the hard freaking questions. Is murder bad? Or is what they define as murder bad? You know? Now, relax, guys. I'm not about to hockey mask time, okay? If I was about to hockey mask time, I'd freaking upload on other platforms and let them know exactly why I'm about to do something. I'm not about to hockey mask time, but, like, think about it. If this guy snapped and, like, just freaking executed, like, say, the people who are going to come and tow his truck, why did he attack? These people were damaging his life, right? Because, listen, all that they've done is they've made it in a manner to where these people control your life indirectly. They don't put the gun to your head physically, at least not yet. But the gun of, like, eviction, you know, no electricity, no food, is constantly to your head. It's a metaphorical gun, but it's there. His life is being made more difficult. He's begging them not to make it more difficult. He'll, like, you know, fix it on his own, get some help, and however he's going to do it. And they refuse. But then if he does that, if he does exactly what they're doing, but more directly, you know, at least he's just being honest about it. At least he's just saying, hey, listen, you're being a piece of garbage, I'm going to kill you. Then he's the bad guy. Not how they're treating him. You know? It really speaks to me because when I look at stuff like that, no, I don't think it's a sign of, like, you know, anything. I just remember that, you know, like, as a guy, most guys aren't going to save you. And, you know, I really wish that I knew something about him. I wish I knew, like, if he had, like, a social media or something like that. Because I would reach out. I really would. And I know that it's not one of those things where it's like, oh, you know, you can't help everybody and you can't just pay everyone's problems. And it's not about that, dude. It's about... I know that people like to say that that's disingenuous, like when you say that you care online. But I have reached out to dudes. I've talked to guys. I had to talk to my best friend one time. This was a while ago, but I still remember when he was considering, like, nosediving, if you catch my drift. When he was considering that he was a burden and a mistake because his dumb arse sad excuse of a father. I know it's easy to hear that, oh, this person cares on the internet and they don't care, but I really do wish and I hope that he's at least doing better, man. Because just like looking at that truck, it's not like, you know, some freaking pristine truck. It's a beat up car, you know. It's like no one would drive something effed up if they could choose it. You know, like these people do what they have to do to, you know, go on. And it's just such a shame that as a guy, you know, you're expressing your lowest part and these people still don't care. And this is why I say, you know, like, listen, man, I'll say it like this. If you're about to do the unthinkable, be it, you know, Minecrafting or XCOMing other cocksuckers, I don't really see that the same way anymore. I don't. I really don't. Well, like, think about it. They're doing the same crap. Difference is they could just raise their hand. I fear it for my life. Oh, he was a threat to the public. He was this, that, and the other. All they do is make every situation in a manner to where they can't win. And this is why I laugh at crap like good and evil and light and darkness, and how, like, some jackasses want to say, oh, there should be a balance. What balance? Name anyone that is in control of the world right now where if something goes wrong, they actually lose. Let's hear it. Oh, wait. Name any government where if something goes wrong, they actually lose. They always win. If they have to pay out, they still make it in a manner to where they'll, you know, make that money back, you know, and then some. If something goes wrong, they win. If something goes right, they win. There's no balance with these cocksuckers. How can someone possibly sit around there and just try and convince themselves that, oh, you know, light and darkness, blah, 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 there's a balance? No, there isn't. No, there isn't. And why should we want balance? Think about it for a minute. Why should we want balance? One of the main reasons why we, as humans, created things like homes and stuff like that and fixed it is to remove ourselves from, like, you know, the circle of life equation. Because I'll be completely real. Balance can go shove its head up its arse. I could really care less. If I had a best friend, I don't really give a rat's arse if he's, you know, supposed to be a part of the circle of life. I'd rather him not, you know, have to deal with worrying about a goddamn bear coming in and eating his organs while he's alive, if you catch my drift. Balance can go shove itself up its arse. You know? And the same is true for these cocksuckers, because they've got it in a manner where everything's rigged so that, you know, again, they're good. There's no situation where they lose. And all it really shows me, personally, is, again, this is why I'm at least happy that, he's in America. Let's just say that. Because at least here, he can fight back. You know, if he really just had... If he just reached the end of his rope and he wanted to fight back, he could fight back. He can't do it in other countries, but he can do it here. And irregardless of if you want to say that that's the right thing to do, that, oh, he shouldn't do that, this, that, and the other, right? That doesn't really matter to me, okay? It doesn't matter to me if someone thinks that that's the right thing to do, because what these cocksuckers in law do are not always the right thing. It's rarely the freaking right thing. It's all really just boiled down to, again, this dumb arse arbitrary construct called money that has no actual value, but people have been brainwashed and deluded into thinking that it actually does. That's all it really boils down to. You know? I take great sadness in knowing that a lot of guys don't really have any form of release. You know? That's one of the reasons that I do this, because I know that most people don't really give a rat's arse. I know most people don't care. You know, for the guys who do care, the guys who do listen, thank you. I appreciate that. You know? And man, if you feel like this, I do, like, you know, consider doing this. Like, even if you don't, like, say, publish a video, just make a video diary. Just get it off your chest, man. Don't freaking pay a therapist, this cocksucker that doesn't care about your arse either. You know? Or just either perpetually convinces you that you're a victim. And sometimes, again, you are a victim, but also there are situations where you're not a victim, you know? But either way, don't pay someone to listen to you when, you know, you can just talk, even to yourself, and get it off your chest. It's therapeutic. It really is. And I feel like it's about to freaking rain, which is just lovely. There's not even a cloud over me, but I better just get under my porch. So let me go ahead and do that. But I digress. Like, here's the thing, okay? This guy is at a low point, and he's just begging to at least be shown mercy. He didn't tell them, you know, off about towing the car. He realizes that, okay, you have to do that, but before you do that, can I at least try and get the car on? And they wouldn't even let him, you know? And this is, again, why I say, you know, like, are these so-called extreme actions that individuals feel like they have to take, are they really, truly never justified? Like I said. And I say no. That's not even close. They're absolutely justified. I could give a hot, steaming freaking turd about someone's dumb arse, brainwashed, deluded beliefs into this idea that the state's always right, but no. There are plenty of instances where these cocksuckers deserve to pay. Plenty. And they don't get their comeuppance. And this is why I feel like the only instance where people really have to worry is when everyone's aren't. You know, it sucks that you have to live like that. I would prefer not to. But the problem is, like I've said many times before, humans do not have the mental fortitude for diplomacy. Because it takes a lot of strength, you know, to not freaking isomofo when they're doing everything in their power to, you know, try and make you out to be this garbage, you know, this villain that you're not. It takes a lot of strength, and people don't have that strength. So if people don't have that strength, then everyone should at least, you know, be packing some kind of heat for when, you know, people want to get all riled up. You know, when people had to worry about, you know, their citizens coming and freaking taking their goddamn heads, they couldn't really get away with stuff as easy. There's a massive problem with the fact that the people who control your lives are people who don't even live like normal people. You know, at any point. You know, they don't go through what you go through. They've never worked a day in their lives. But there's no system that's going to save you. There's no ism. People like say, oh, capitalism, communism, socialism, this, that. And no ism is going to save you, dude. The problem is inherently effed up to the core. This is why I like games like freaking Dark Souls and stuff like that, because it talks about these kinds of issues, and not necessarily, in the form of human nature, but, metaphysical stuff that reflects real life problems. The point being that the problem is embedded into people, And what I really start to believe is, you can't really save many people. You can advise them and try and guide them, but they still got to choose. It's their life. You can't really save them, But you can, if you do, advise people, you can indirectly, hopefully, get them to choose decisions that will save them from putting themselves in those kinds of positions, because I hope that that guy is, again, okay and stuff like that. And I hope that he's not in a position like that because he doesn't have a choice, because there's instances where maybe he's doing that, maybe because he's providing for some freaking family that treats him like garbage, kids that might not be his, the chick nagging him to death, these are the things that these guys put up with, But it's just looking at that stuff, it really irks me that guy feels this insane pain on him and he can't express it, If he expresses it, because listen, trust me, if he would have kept going off in that video, I'm sure that one of those bastards would have drew a gun on him. And maybe they did draw a gun on him afterwards. Who knows? Don't think that just because people freaking record police body cam footage that there aren't instances where, that freaking body cam footage drops. There's instances where it does. There are absolutely instances where it does, and they purposely delete footage. It's been plenty of cases where people have presented tampered footage before courts. I just want to say that what I was going to talk about after that was that it's funny to me that this person is talking about this really hard time in his life, and it kind of relates to me in the the whole doomer thing and the neat thing, because you see, my friend, he's in insurance, and I think I've talked about this before, but he's been talking about these instances because the way that insurance works, at least with him, is they tell him that he's not doing any calls, and it's impartially true, because the AI gets the numbers, they call, and then he answers the phone. That's essentially how it works at a call center, because I did a call center work before, right? And it's a lie, because it gets the people on the phone by pretending like they're going to give them some kind of card in the mail containing money, right? And that's how they get them. But here's the thing, okay? A lot of these people get mad when they realize, obviously, that they're not going to get that. But don't you find it amusing? Because, the general people that is his target range, air quotes target range, even though, he doesn't really control who he's on the phone with, are usually boomers. Now, isn't it funny that the back in my day cocksuckers, talk about how they, want the lazy generation, i.e. us, because we can't get a job. Because we're not looking, obviously, but, just because we can't. They tell us that we need to get ourselves up by the bootstraps and go on and do it all back in my day. Now, these same cocksuckers, again, are mad when they hear that they're not getting this supposed $6,000, dollar card for some reason. Hold up, cocksucker. Doesn't that sound a lot like this thing called Social Security? Or is it different? Interesting. You see, my friend and I, we quote this, joke from the game For Honor. Because in the story mode, essentially, this character Valkyrie, right? And this character Raider, they encounter, heads on pikes. And the Raider says, "This is barbaric." And then Valkyrie looks at him, she says, "I've seen you take scalps." And he said, "Oh, that's different." So whenever, we see something stupid, where it's, just blatant hypocrisy, we both just say, it's different. Like, and we just meme on it, right? So I'm making the joke about that because boomers will always tell you that you need to get yourself up by your bootstraps. Don't fall to despair. You need to just man up and just back in my day and all this crap. And then these same cocksuckers will then sit around here and think that they're owed Social Security, even though they think that we aren't owed Social Security. We aren't even owed, like, understanding and empathy. But these same cocksuckers are like, oh, well, my arthritis, my oxygen, sonny. Oh, my knees, baby. My hands, my chronic pain. Meanwhile, when you tell all their problems, it's just bootstraps back in my day, right? Which is why I'm like, it's very interesting that you're doing this. And I tell my friend that because you're seeing in real time that these same cocksuckers that are telling you back in your day and all this stuff are the same ones that now think that because they're in a so-called hard time, right, that they can't get help. They're just supposed to get help in their eyes. Ain't that something? This is why you don't go around, just pushing people away. And this is one of the biggest issues about our age is there's no sense of community, there's no sense of belonging, and people don't try and look out for each other. Now, are people obligated to look out for each other? No, they're not. Is it advantageous to do? Absolutely. Yes, it is. Of course, if the person is obviously consistently, for the most part, trying to keep the favor going, And what I mean by that is not the favor like debt, as in favor as in good favor. You look out for this person and they look out for you. It's a relationship thing. Not a romantic relationship, get your head out the gutter, but a relationship, The friendship that I have with my friend is because we look out for each other. We pay it back. We pay back each other's love. That's how community works. I know this is hard to understand for some people because the internet has completely ruined people, but there was a time where people in communities would look out for each other. You mess with some people in that community, all of them bastards would come out running. Yes. That was how it was back in the day. Not the back in my day, but just back in the day. And it's not like that now. And it is effed up. It really is, because all it really does is push guys closer to the HMT. And like I said, I really hope that guy, I hope he's okay. And if he did have some kind of like social or something, I would like to get in touch with him and just hopefully he's doing better. Because listen, that could be me. I'm fully aware that could be me one of these days. Because like even if I finally get a job and I can then go and take these tests and stuff, even then, like if I get into this field that pays well, life can freaking happen, dude. Like you can be in a position where you worked so hard to get there, and then life can still just absolutely screw your arsehole. Boom, just paralyzed from the neck down or something. Stuff like that happens. Stuff like that happens, dude. And we can't even look at each other with grace for stuff like that. I don't get it twisted. Sometimes people don't deserve grace. If someone like Allah was in that position, I wouldn't give a rat's arse. But that's not Allah. That's a normal person busting his arse to get by, same as mostly anyone else. In typical fashion, the system that will drag his arse to war and say he is supposed to and obligated to die for this country, won't even give him grace. This is why, again, I'm 100% completely understanding when people put that mask on. I understand, man. Because then, hey, guess what? He wins. If he gets the so-called death penalty, he doesn't have to put up with clown world. And if he stays in jail, these cocksuckers pay for him. Roof over his head, tablet, internet. And if he's into them freaking jail boys, then he gets more sex in jail. Like, he wins. No more bills, no more responsibilities. He just sits there and, hey, the food may suck and stuff, but, hey, he doesn't have to worry anymore. He might have to worry about, like, freaking, I guess, dying in jail, but even then, like, unless he goes to, like, some, like, really maximum security one and stuff like that, then he's usually not in that much danger. It's just the truth. There are guys that just live relatively content, I don't know if I could say happy, but content lives in jail. Because then the system is forced to acknowledge them and take care of them. Simple as that. Is it a perfect life? No, but again, I understand why people do it. I do. I really do. I do. You know, and I don't know. Because, like, we have just a little bit more of this month left. And then it's going to be November. And I can already tell you, I know it's going to be a goddamn storm. Man, storm just passed Florida. And we're looking forward to this stupid-arse storm from this election. But we already know, man, like, I'm just going to be completely real. There's literally no legitimate way that this broad stands a chance. So you know that if she freaking gets it, just like this freaking old kook in charge, you know what was going to be doing. You know what was done. You're going to have a whole bunch of diddling. No, I do not think Mr. Orange Man is going to save us. No. However, I would prefer if, you know, the freaking elections are not meddled with. And if we're looking in, you know, live TV and we see freaking legal ballot observers forced out again, just saying, you know what's going to happen. You know what's going to happen. But I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up to just say this, man. I really hope that that guy is doing well. I hope that life is treating him a bit better. Because you just never have an outlet as a guy. You really don't. And it's insane to me that even if you were to try and do something like make a male-only space, right, for guys to talk, all that would immediately happen is these freaking cunts would come in there and invade that and demand that, you know, like, you know, chicks participate as though they don't have, like, this mass of people just itching to help them get off the street, help them get jobs, just help them with everything. And here you might want a safe haven, just some kind of haven for guys to just get all of this crap off their chest, and they can't even have it. That's why I just say, listen, man, like, when I do connect with guys, I look out for them to the best of my abilities, you know. I can't offer money and stuff like that, but I can offer them my ear. And if they're close by and I'm comfortable with them, I can offer them my shoulder. You know? Because, guys, we get pushed around enough as it is. You know, I get that a lot of people, when they take, like, the black pill and stuff like that, which I never, you know, claim. I don't claim to be a doomer and stuff like that. But I do look at it, and I look at life for what it is, you know. I get that a lot of guys just become completely apathetic to everything, which I am as well, to an extent. But I am not apathetic to other guys, because I know the plight, considering that it's what I'm going through. You know, I will always offer, you know, an ear to these guys who are stressed and stuff like that. Because, listen, dude, you're hurt. I know you may not think that you are, but you're hurt, dude. But some people just don't have the conviction to actually tell these other guys that they care. Because they get told all their life that no one gives a rat's arse, and so why should they? But that's, for me, personally, that's why I have to. This crap isn't working, obviously. Like, none of us are content just being told, hey, listen, no one cares, so, like, why should I? So that's why I see personally that I should care. That's why I at least try. That doesn't mean, again, you give all your money away or you have to do this insanely altruistic Naruto bullcrap, but you could just be the difference by actually just showing compassion to a guy and just offering aid. You'd be surprised how far that goes. Listen, when I talked my friend out of it, I just talked, you know. And someone that I listened to, he said that he recently lost a good friend of his because his whore of a wife cheated on him, threatened him with divorce, and he blew his brains out. And he feels like if he could have called him, he could have saved his life. And I'm sure that he could have. You'd be surprised just guys actually hearing that someone cares, what it does. You'd be surprised. I know a lot of guys like to feel like, oh, well, if I had a girl. Girls don't freaking understand, dude. They can't even begin to understand. They will always have someone care. Like, even in these instances where, like, a chick will say, oh, I don't have anyone to help me. You know, maybe if you weren't an insufferable piece of garbage, someone would help. That's usually the only way that chicks have no one to help them, is if they're an insufferable piece of garbage. And even then, like, there's some jackarse that they can just pretend to be nice to for a season, and then she gets help. Like, let's just be real. Guys don't have that luxury. So, chicks don't begin to understand. You'll feel a lot more better when it's actually another guy listening to you. Truly listening to you. Not judging you, you know, just listening to you and offering advice and comfort. Because I'm telling you, it really helped me. But I'll go ahead and just leave it there. I hope you guys got something out of it. Hope you guys aren't falling into despair. You know, I know it's easy. Trust me, I do, but I gotta keep going. I gotta get out of this trash freaking neighborhood and into something better, you know? Especially because, like, you know, something that I would like to do is, I said it before, but I would like to, like, build, like, pleasure robots, right? The market for that is freaking amazing. Not that I would be doing it mainly to make money. I would mainly be doing it for the altruism. I think guys really could use an actual option that isn't going to freaking divorce rape them and stuff like that. You know. So, like, you know, that kind of actually does keep me going. Because I'm like, you know, if I could just get out of this little rut, you know, even if it's, like, in a bad job at first, I could just use that bad job to pay for my, like, exams. And then, you know, go and take my medical exam, then go join, like, this area that I'm trying to get into, like, career-wise, where you need to be physically fit. So, if I can get that going, then, you know, I'd make a whole bunch of money, and I could sure as heck work on these robotics, and hopefully give guys some kind of option, so that they weren't getting freaking screwed in their arse constantly by divorce, rape, and all this stuff. You know? But it's just something that I think about. I'll go ahead and just conclude it here, though. I hope you guys got something out of it. Keep fighting the fight. God bless. I'll see you next time.